of America. Not that much happened in tech news this week, so we're going to be talking about some of the interesting things that have not happened. Sorry, someone's texting me. Anyway, that have happened. People that you may not have heard of, but these are very important people to society, apparently, and they're very famous. So I want to talk about that. I'm going to react to someone named Anna Oob, whose YouTube channel apparently is named after the thing that all the girls did in 2019 when they drop a water bottle. So there is that. In any case, but let's first get over to, this is still technically a technology website and podcast. Let's get over to thetechboy.org and talk about our two headlines. I really want to start doing more in-depth technology stuff, but as you guys know, it's really hard to find information on on the internet. We discussed this last week about how I wanted to have some sort of dashboard. So I want to do more in-depth stuff on technology, but right now, all we have are these boring little news stories. Like, oh, and who cares that OpenAI made a bold shift? Anyway, let's talk about our first comparison, which is the Samsung Galaxy A17 versus the Motorola Moto G 2025. All right, so the Motorola Moto G 2026 has not come out yet, which is why I pitted these two phones against each other, because I think that you are going to be interested in stuff like this. I need you guys to read the website. Please, read the site, okay? In any case, this is Samsung Galaxy's cheapest phone that they sell here in the United States of America, and I did their prices at the price that they retail at Best Buy, Samsung.com. I do know that you can get some of these phones on a deal from your carrier, or maybe you can get it used on eBay or Amazon. So I'm not taking that into account. So if you see this phone for like $30, then obviously the $30 phone, if it's the same phone, it's going to be better than the phone that's $160. But this is head to head based on what I know from them. Anyway, let's get to this. So Samsung and Motorola needs to do some of the largest budget phone carriers here in the United States, companies, sorry, rather in the United States of America. The A17 released this year, the G 2025 released in 2025. There might be a G 2026. If there is, I'll compare it. Both phones are about $160. So with Motorola, you'll get a 6.7-inch display, 4 gigabytes of RAM, a MediaTek Dimensity 630 chip, and either 64 or 128 gigabytes of storage. This phone that they normally sell is the 128 gigabyte version, so that's the version that we reviewed. Obviously, I didn't have this phone in studio to review. The unlocked one is 128 gigabytes, so that's what we're going to be looking at. And the A17, as you can see on the left hand of the screen, comes with 128 gigabytes of storage. Both phones do feature a micro SD card slot, I believe, and 4 gigabytes of RAM. So the RAM situation is abysmal on both ends, right? You're not going to be doing much on this phone. You're not going to be doing much video editing. You're not going to be doing anything of the nature. But as you know, we've discussed this multiple times: Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, all of that. I mean, I guess it should be able to run. I mean, I have maybe 100 apps on here, and I only use 4, which is very sad because I want to be more productive. But I mean, there's not much to do, right? So, for the person who's just a content consumer and not really a creator, this might be a decent phone for them. I'm not saying it's going to be the best. Obviously, saying it's not going to be the best, right? It's going to have some hiccups. So what really comes down to these phones is software, cameras, and I guess the skin chart, that's software, cameras, and the performance. So Samsung's Exynos is technically a little bit faster than the MediaTek Dimensity processor on phone. I don't have them in store. I don't have them side by side, so I can't tell you if it feels faster. I know sometimes on even worse phones, they might feel faster just because they aren't as loaded down with as much stuff, or you've used your phone. I've compared it. Let's say I take my phone down to Best Buy and compare it against an A56 or an A36 or whatever, or maybe I compare it against the Samsung Galaxy FE series of devices, right? I compare it against the FE series of devices, right? Sometimes the devices in the store, maybe they have less applications on there, not as many files. It just it might feel a little faster. So, I think I've touched both phones before, just not at the same time. So I can't really tell which one feels best. I'm going to say that Samsung does offer longer software support. Obviously, I don't think anyone's going to be using this phone for 6 years. I don't care how cool they try to make it look. I don't care what they try to make the phone look like. Oh, well, guys, look, it's an enterprise phone for a European cut. No one's using that phone for 6 years, okay? It's kind of like the fail phone where it's like, oh, people using this phone for almost 2 years. No, they're not. Okay. But in any case, you do get longer software support. So, with Motorola, you'll get 2 years of updates. Samsung, I think it's 6. So maybe you can use the extra 3 or 4 years of updates, and you want to keep that phone to come out to about maybe $50, over 4 years, $50 per phone versus, $80 per phone. But, if you buy these low budget phones, you're really going to be switching them out often. 128 gigabytes of storage, I would say, is enough. But in any case, let's get to the cameras. Samsung wins just because it has the better camera setup overall. None of these are going to be good. You get a 50 megapixel main sensor and a 30 megapixel selfie camera on Samsung. Both phones record at 1080p at 30 frames per second. You will also get a 5 megapixel ultra wide and a 2 megapixel macro camera. Trash, but I mean, at least you have an ultra wide. Samsung, no ultra wide. Sorry, Motorola with no ultra wide, and it does have the macro camera that no one's gonna look at that. Okay, it's a macro shot. No one cares about that, and it's only in 2 megapixels. But I mean, at least they have the gall, the self-respect to at least put 2 cameras on there. Unlike, of course, the iPhone Air and the iPhone 17e, which is, of course, being boycotted, because of Israeli chips. So, they picked the dumbest reason to boycott a phone, but if you're not getting your iPhone, that's great. Come over here to Team Samsung where, it's not going to blow up. The iPhone's not going to blow up either, but still, I mean, if you feel that way, it's still not going to blow up. In any case, there's no zoom, no 4K recording. It does have a technically higher resolution selfie camera. Obviously, doesn't mean it's better. You have these phones out here, 200 megapixel cameras. They aren't holding up to flagship phones with 12 megapixel or 48 megapixel cameras and wide aperture devices. You have to ask why all these Chinese companies are putting 200 megapixel cameras on their devices, but Apple's putting 50, 48. Samsung still has 200 on there, but they've been down to 12 megapixels because they know it's about the sensor, it's about the processing. It's not just about the raw megapixel count, right? If you have a really tiny sensor, but you have lots of megapixels, I mean, that's great for the spec sheet, but it's not good in real life, and that's what we use these phones in our everyday, today life. And I want you guys can go check out the new story about OpenAI. Speaking of artificial intelligence, remember, there's good people on both sides of the artificial intelligence debate, right? Unfortunately, there are good people on both sides, right? So, unfortunately, they don't send their best over on X. They really don't. I'm pretty sure that there's tons of arguments that people who are anti-artificial intelligence have that actually make sense, and I'm not going to laugh in their face when I look at it. When I look at them, I'm like, okay, yeah, you make some semblance of sense. Reality has set in, and of course, some of that is just based off of some people are scared, and people are scared to make irrational decisions. I'm not saying that the people who are anti-AI are all bad. That's not what I'm saying. I'm also not saying people are all pro-AI are all good. It's just a position that I have taken for myself. In any case, the people over on X are not sending their best, right? And I'm very sorry if people don't like that I'm pro-artificial intelligence. That's okay. I mean, no one watches this podcast anyway, so it doesn't matter. This person says, what do you mean? And, I don't like how these people have, why do you talk like this? Can you not talk normally? For goodness sake. What do you mean? What do you mean? I can't just find a link to sites. I now have to go talk to essentially a chatbot to get vague answers and potential misinformation. 3 question marks. How do I get recipes? 2 question marks. I mean, why? These people, again, like I said, they're not singing lips. Why do they talk like this? Speak in English. I should not need ChatGPT to decode what you're trying to say. Why does everyone say, yeah, or what do you mean? Or no, or they always ask these questions in such an annoyed manner. X Pasta O2 says, hello, thanks for coming in. They always ask these questions in such an annoyed manner. And I was like, clock it. And I'm like, shut up, get out the TikTok comment section, cry me a river. What do you want? Do you want a cookie? If you're going to be anti-AI, have some dignity, have some respect for yourself and your intelligence, right? You talk about how, you don't use artificial intelligence because, you want to use your own brain and it makes you feel good and that's great and all, but, this is not it, guys. This is not it. In any case, that was totally fake news. They're lying about this. Google released an update to Google. People are all crashing out, acting like it's going to be a death to Google. Brave is capitalizing in, talking about, oh yeah, guys, just use our search engine, use DuckDuckGo. No one cares, actually. Not one person cares. But everyone's crashing out on the internet, acting like this is the end of Google. Google is dead now because, these people fell for fake news. So, what is this person trying to talk about here? Well, oh wow, it's Omar Fadal. Wow, he hasn't live streamed in almost 2 years. Wow. In any case, what are these people trying to talk about? What are they talking about? So there was a report that came out that said that in Google's AI mode, which is really good, I rank it up there almost with Perplexity. Perplexity is almost as good as Google, even better in some cases. So there's this thing called Google AI mode. Let's see if I can open it up in a tab so I can show you guys this on the screen. Do you guys see it? Google AI mode, right? This is what it calls it, AI mode. You go in here, you chat, and it will give you AI generated responses. So what does the mode do? You talk to it, you can chat with it for stuff that's normal. So I'm going to go in to Google AI mode. Hopefully nothing, there we go, let's see. I'm going to ask it a question. Who is the tech boy, right? And what it does is it gives you an artificial intelligence generated response saying, hi, I'm Mizell, an American teenage entrepreneur, launched the platform in 2020 at the height of the COVID-19 pandemic. It'll go in and tell you a whole bunch of stuff that I do, where I graduated high school from, and where I launched the Scoot Tech, right? So all of this is accurate, I believe. The Tech Boy Media Network, Pulse, Hot Beat of America podcast, the Tech Boy podcast. Great, all that. So Google AI, right? Now, if you go into regular Google, what you're going to get is just regular Google, right? You're going to get your regular search results that are not AI generated. And these people, they took this report and they ran with it. Google said that it's going to prioritize AI written content in its AI mode. Now, is that a good idea? I'm not sure. But they all acted like on Google that when you type in something that you're not going to get links anymore, that you're only going to have to chat with the chatbot. That Google was essentially shutting down legacy Google and making you all use Google AI mode. That's what they were acting like was happening. And that, of course, turned out to be a lie. It's fake news. Google would never do that. Okay, Google is not having you chat with artificial intelligence to try to find information if you want to find links. I think that, again, there's good arguments for and anti-artificial intelligence on both sides, but you have to make sense. You cannot present yourself like this, or people are going to all laugh at you and think that you're crazy, because that's how you're acting. Of course, this is the person whining that they can't write their fanfics anymore. Very, very important to society. Fanfics are fine, but I mean, that's not lying here. Lying is a sin. Let's go over to this person. What do they have to say? Again, more fear mongering. And I'm not saying that being anti-AI is bad. I'm going to keep stressing that. Okay, I'm not saying that it's bad. I'm not saying that there aren't any legitimate concerns. Let's see what this person is saying. This AI data center in Utah produces the thermal energy of 26 atomic bombs every day. It spans over 40,000 acres. No, it doesn't. It doesn't exist yet. And no, it won't. And even if it does, you know what produces more than thermal energy of 23 atomic bombs? Right? You're using this kind of language to try to scare you. Atomic bomb, it's worse than Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Do you know what releases more energy on Hiroshima and Nagasaki every day? It's this great big ball of light in the sky. It's called the sun, and we're all living here, okay? So it's fear-mongering language. Kate over here says, hello. Hi, Kate. And these people, of course, they say data center, and they fall into some sort of conniption. They start shriveling up and dying, acting like it's the worst thing that has ever happened in human history. Of course, it's not. And thank goodness the internet was not around when the internet was being invented. And I think that's a very key point, because you're spreading these lies, these fake news, this misinformation about artificial intelligence and data centers using the internet, which uses data centers, right? Everyone's not all self-hosting their own website. You're spreading this fake news, in some cases even making graphics talking about we don't want AI in our town with AI. It's very funny. But in any case, you're spreading this fake news, these lies, this misinformation, this fear-bait to people over the internet on data centers. If the internet, when it was being constructed and you're connecting all the universities together, you're building the data centers for major companies like AOL and Google and Yahoo and Verizon, and all the ISPs are coming together and they're building the links together. Or heck, when you were building the transcontinental railroad in 1869 and they finally bring them together. I think it was in Utah, right? And some land had to go. There was lots of noise. There was lots of construction. There was black smoke in the air because it was a coal-powered train. It was a steam engine. And when the internet's being created and you're building these data centers, and when you're having the rollout of 2G and you're getting internet on your phone, when everything that makes this country great and technologically superior over every country on planet Earth, the innovation that we have in America, the interstate highway system that was being built in the 50s, thank God the internet was not a thing. Because you probably had some whiner that was whining that I-69 was being built, and you probably had some whiner that was whining that a helicopter, that an airport was being built somewhere. You probably had some whiner that was whining about, how the internet was being built, and you had these phone links connecting, and you got that weird dial-up sound. And you probably had some whiner that was whining that the train station was being built. But other than, of course, time, the person who's building a transcontinental railroad wouldn't be able to live long enough to see the internet. Other than that, if some crazy person is talking about this is worse than the atomic bomb, this is going to destroy your life, they literally sacrifice babies or whatever to this machine or whatever, right? They wouldn't all be able to come together and talk to each other. And this actually reminds me, I'm going to do a full in-depth report on those teens who are storming places like Lululemon and gas stations and for some reason freeways, right? These teens, they're lonely and poor, and apparently that means you have to storm a Lululemon. That's what it means, guys. Whenever you feel at home, sad and alone, you have to storm a Lululemon. And these people, they'll talk about, oh well, if social media didn't exist, they wouldn't be able to congregate together. Well, I think that's kind of my argument here with the internet, except, these teens would obviously still be able to congregate together because, it's like 20, 30 teens storming a Lululemon. That's going to be disastrous. Okay, you can still coordinate that in the 80s. You had this thing called a phone. You had all these kids in the party line. You could just tell them to do it at school, right? You don't need thousands and thousands of kids to take over a mall. You only need 20 kids and some idiot with a gun, okay? But what we're seeing here with artificial intelligence is that you have people across the nation connecting with each other via their data centers that they all hate, forming these massive protests and spreading misinformation about Google and about data centers and lying. So thank goodness that the internet wasn't around when these people existed, or the internet would have never been built, and our lives would, of course, never be remarkably changed. Whose life has been remarkably changed by the internet? The great Preslee Faith, who I just called a woman of faith, right? I just said that she's a great Christian. God forbid I say Preslee Faith is a Christian. God forbid. Or, of course, it's been, of course, a new week of scandals. Slurgate, and then, of course, Presleygate. Well, I just call Preslee a Christian, and everyone on Instagram knows starts yapping about modesty or whatever. And, they say that she's a whore. No, guys, Preslee Faith is not a whore. I cannot believe I have to say this. And a lot of a hater. Preslee Faith is a teenage influencer who is very famous, and I've never heard of her before. I was wondering who that girl in the TikTok gifs was, right? I was like, who is that? So I did a reverse image search, and I found out it was Preslee Faith, and then I looked her up, and I think this is a very interesting thing that's happening in the monoculture today. So am I going to sit here and address the nonsense claims that people have all been acting like is brand new about Preslee Faith? Oh wow, I can't believe the tech boy backs Preslee Faith. I can't believe it, guys. Wow, modesty. That's not news. That really isn't news, okay? And Preslee, please don't do anything stupid, so I don't look stupid for this take. Anyway, let's go over to Anna Oop. Anna Oop, who I guarantee you none of y'all have ever heard of before I mentioned her. And that's, of course, we're talking about when you drop the water bottle on the ground. This is Anna Oop, a commentary YouTuber who's animated, so that's not her real face. Talks about people you have never heard of, doing things you have never heard of, but apparently the culture cares. I'm always wondering, who are these people? Who are these people? Seriously, who are you? Let's read this. Exposing Clavicular's creepy obsession with Piper Raquel. Hyde replaces Manning after completely erasing her. Who the frick is Hyde? And who is Manning? Who are these people? Clara Dow, never heard of her. We urgently need to talk about Chair One. Who? Who is Cheyawan? Please, $100, guys. Tell me, who is Cheyawan? Never heard of him, have you? And I mean, the editing, the thumbnails, this is great. This is creepy. Northwest getting creepy, inappropriate messages. How do you know that? And why do we care? Like, I guess that's bad. You shouldn't be doing that. But why do 40,000 people tune in to talk about this? Police report confirms Ben Pastersnack was lying about Evelyn. Ha. Who and who? Oh, we're back to man art. Like, who are these people? And again, like I've talked about, the internet is this vast, big, beautiful place. How am I supposed to know who all these people are, or read about them, or learn about them? But I did learn a lot about Preslee Faith, so we're going to be reacting to this video. But you have some breaking news. You know, as it's going down this rabbit hole of these internet famous teenagers, and I think it's really interesting that they're famous internet teenagers, right? That's where I want to be, right? I think, you know, you went down this rabbit hole. I found out on a podcast that there's other famous internet teenagers, and the name Preslee has actually come back, guys. I was like, yeah, not Preslee. What's Paisley? The great name Paisley. We all like the name Paisley. I found out, breaking news, I don't know if this is news or not, but I found out that Caesar and Emily broke up. I don't know why we haven't covered this before. I can tell you, because I have no idea who Caesar is. And Emily, I think she's blonde or something. I mean, I take the Kalshi on that. If it was Kalshi or Potty Market, I go with 95% that some person named Emily is blonde. I don't know. But anyway, let's go to our article first, so we can truly learn about who Preslee Faith is, right? And unfortunately, I'm not going to pay for this newspaper, so we only get the top, I don't know, first paragraph or whatever. But I mean, look at this. This is just so interesting. I like learning about the intersection of media and these influencers who are doing stuff. They're interesting, who, you know, probably do not care about my little argument with people about Preslee Faith. No one cares. No one cares. You know, outside of this bubble and inside of this bubble, it's very stressful because, you know, I have my own opinions. I mean, people are actually doing polls on what my worst opinions are. Spoiler, they're all good and they're all 100% correct. But, of course, like I talked about on the TBN clip, right, you have to play to your audience. Unfortunately, playing to my audience has kind of been sketch, very sketch, guys. Because, you know, you got the normies who probably watch people like Preslee, and you got the hyper Christians, and you got people in the middle, and they're all, you know, they're fighting with each other, and sketch. They're like PR disaster, guys. PR disaster. This week has been a PR disaster if you think about it. I mean, I think oh gosh. I don't know, guys. Yeah, I have too, and you know, people have criticized me. This was actually one of the opinions. You know, I said to my best friend is Grok, right? I have been chatting with Grok about like what exactly is the math supposed to be on this one, guys? Like, seriously, like I don't know. I want to have to, you know, bend the knee for the radicals and crazies. And it just, in any case, you know, I don't think that Preslee has to deal with stuff of this nature. If she wants to come on a podcast, for all 3 people that are watching, please do. Anyway, let's get into this article. Gen A Pod beat Joe Rogan. Again, I've never actually met anyone who watches Joe Rogan in real life, but apparently he's like a top 5 podcast. He went on a podcast, Pucker Up, Girl Talk, LOL. The LOL podcast is peak. They don't really talk about much. They also some guys talk, but apparently it's an hour-long episode. Like, well, tragic, but like, what do I get? But anyway, Preslee Faith just popped a quarter-sized blue sour candy in her mouth that makes a pained expression. She's a 15-year-old, or was when this is written. She's 16 now. Internet it girl playing Pucker Up, the YouTube game show that's wildly popular with the under-18 set. I watched the episode, a little bit of it. It was okay. It's kind of dimly lit. Like, guys, you have 700,000 subscribers. I'm pretty sure you can afford lighting. Not criticizing you. As we all know, we don't criticize people who have more followers than us. I think that's the rule. I don't know. A lot of rules have been broken. And when live, who's live? I don't know. Oh, Joey live. Like, and the reason that we're watching this is that it's some sort of hype house thing. What's it called? They're like collaboration houses, and they have all these influencers that come together and they create content. But their content, we don't really know like what it is. It's like it's Preslee Faith content, because that's the video I wanted to react to on a house. T Swift. Oh, it's Glow House. That's what it's called. Glow House. That's why I wanted to write to Anna Oop Glow House thing. Yes, yes. How many videos about Glow House did she make? There it is. My goodness, I didn't know that this many people cared about Glow House, who is the content group that they work for. And I think it's really interesting. They make these memes, they come together, and they get to create content like of this nature. And they get to go on all these shows, and I think it's really, really cool. And these are people, again, that I have never heard of. I'm in this age range. I'm in Gen Z. Some of them are in Gen A. Some of them might be in Gen Z. It's like they're on the cusp of Gen Z/Gen A, maybe a little cut off. This depends on where it comes. Some people say Gen Z into 2010. Some people say into 2012. So the Gen A, Gen Z, the Gen's Alpha, right? So they're around my age, right? 16, 17, 15. I guess it depends on when their birthdays are. Anyway, Preslee Jackson. Sorry, I thought that was their last name. Preslee, Jackson, Amber Lee, and Aiden. Someone loves A's in this family. They're not related, but they could be. They tell it all, of course, to talk about dating and relationships and best friends and the like. And it's really interesting about how brands have reacted to this. Now it says that there are researchers who are still gathering information about Gen A. It's kind of what kind of information? Imagine coming up to someone and telling someone that you study Gen A. Like what? Well, what is your job? Oh, I study Gen A. Yep, guys, I'm a Gen A studier. Like, what does that even mean? Like, how do you apply to study Gen A? It's kind of weird. This says that they're highly online, have a savvy awareness of brands. That's been said of every generation. You have a savvy awareness of brand. They know what's fake. You want to be authentic. Everyone's trying to sell authenticity. I don't think, like, what exactly does that mean? Because I think you have to get into the mind of someone like Preslee or the people who listen to Preslee herself. Like, what are they watching in their free time? I have never heard or seen anyone watch this type of content. I think it's pretty interesting. I've seen Preslee on a few podcasts. She's not the best, but I mean, like, what is going on inside of her mind? What is going on inside of the kids who watch this type of content and who care? And I would really like to find out. I mean, we're seeing stuff like this with Salish Matter. I don't know, I don't think that was a real name, but apparently it is. Who sold out stores because she launched a beauty brand. Or, Harper Zilma talking about Lou Boo Boos and life and prom and those people who cheated on her. And of course, they give dating advice and relationship advice. But of course, I always, when I'm in trouble and I want to have relationship advice, I always turn to 16-year-olds on the internet to find out relationship advice. Move out the way, focus on the family and people who have like 10 parenting books and say about the same stuff, right? And if you ask me, I could go on focus on the family and cosplay as one of those people as well. You need to have we need to have control, or you need to let your kids go, what's it called, helicopter parenting or free range parenting, but within the confines of Christianity. That's out the window, guys. No. We don't need focus on the family's relationship advice. No, sir. We are not going to listen to Family Life Today's relationship advice. No, sir. Heck, we're not even going to listen to Alex Cooper yap on Call Her Daddy. Again, how does she have a job? I don't know. Like, I've never actually met anyone who listens to her, even knows who she is, but apparently she's a high podcaster. No. Move out the way, Alex Cooper. Move out the way, Family Life Today. Move out the way, crew. Family. Move out the way, focus on the family. A new person is in it. Preslee Faith and Harper Zilma, and we're going to listen to, of course, their years of expertise in relationship advice, relationships that could be potentially staged for clicks by the marketing agencies. Again, which helps them create content. It's basically their full-time job, and we know it's profitable, seeing as they still have jobs. Selling what? Like, really? People say that these teenagers are on their phones, swiping and scrolling on Instagram. What are they learning? Like, well, not learning, but like, what are they buying because of what Emily and Preslee have to say? What are we buying? Candy? I know my brother, he likes Joyriders because Ryan Fan sold it. Is that it? Are we selling candy companies? I don't really understand. But we have all these podcasters. Rock Squad has the Rock Pod. Actually, I looked them up. They look pretty interesting because they made their own TV series. And this is, again, what I want to do. It's what I aspire to. I want to have my own TV series and YouTube series and give advice and talk about stuff on the podcast, not just stall for an hour long. I like to do that as well, but I just don't know. But they're by teens and for teens, and the editing style, I've watched some of them as well. It's pretty good. It's pretty good, especially the LOL podcast. But no one I've talked to has ever mentioned these people. But maybe Anna Oop's wise wisdom. We've turned to Harper for relationship advice. Now we're going to turn to, of course, Anna Oop about what the Glow House is. And it's if these scandals that are happening with inside the Glow House are real, or these major scandals, guys. This could shatter the nation. America awaits with bated breath as we see the Glow House is falling apart. All right, guys. So let's find out what the scandal is here. See if they're real scandals. Do we stand with Preslee or do we stand with her fans? Let's see.
If you see 2 black people and the rest of them are white, there's already drama and controversy. People are already leaving. They're adding new people. Like, it's a whole entire mess.
Tragic. Absolute tragedy that Glow House did that.
One person that kept avoiding me. I was trying to make a video with them. Or not even trying, I just wanted to introduce myself and go up to them, but they just avoided me. Every time we made eye contact, they would just look away or walk away.
Y'all, the Glow House swore up and down they were building the internet's safe space for Gen Z.
What exactly does that mean? As we know, in the early 2000s on the internet, we had these little portals and games that are kind of given to teens and preteens, and they're kind of merged in with cable entertainment. So you had Disney Channel branded stuff and your Disney Channel TV shows and all sorts of entertainment that is geared towards them. I think that was a great idea. Have entertainment that's geared towards them. I guess it could be built as sort of a safe space, and they weren't going to be on the internet all the time because, of course, they were going to be watching Disney Channel or cable TV shows or whatever, right? And of course, they've gone away. There's only been one new Disney Channel TV show this decade, right? I haven't seen it yet. It's not the roller skating one. It's the bright lights. Maybe it's another roller skating one, but with bright lights this time. I forgot what it's called. Anyway, you see what I'm talking about? In the early 2000s, you had multiple shows. I wouldn't be sitting there trying to struggle to name 2 Disney Channel shows. You had Sweet Life of Zach and Cody. You had not Liv and Maddie, Hannah Montana. And you had the Nickelodeon shows, Drake and Josh, iCarly. So all these shows are coming out around the same time, and there'd be portals, internet stuff geared towards them. And I think that was a better place. I'm not saying that the social media is bad, right? But I think that having professionally produced content that's long form, where you have a place to go to and you can engage and you can be fans of that kind of content, is better than watching some kid do makeup on TikTok. But because it doesn't exist anymore, I am, again, not in favor of banning it. So it seems like that these houses are trying to replicate what was happening back in the early 2000s with this, but it's not as professionally produced. Some people have produced some levels of television show content, of course, distributed via YouTube rather than on a network. Let's see what we have here. Because if you think about it, Zach and Cody could date whoever they wanted. I mean, you might read about it in the newspaper or whatever, but like, you don't care. Like, you only care about who they're dating in the show. Here, we have these alleged scandals, these alleged controversies that other teenagers are reporting on, which makes them look bad, right? So, like what they said, these people are very attuned into the brands. They need their brand deals. And teenagers can, I guess, sniff out authenticity or not. I'm sure if that's true. But again, that's the thing that they do. Which means that you are now held accountable not to how many people watch the show. You're not held accountable to Nielsen ratings. You are held accountable to a random 15-year-old girl on TikTok. So, let's see here. Can they hold up to the accountability? And what exactly do they do? Because, like, this is, like, entertaining, I guess. But, I mean, would I rather watch a 30-minute Disney Channel show? Would I rather watch Ant Farm and Lexi Reed? Or would I rather watch these random people have a sleepover? What would I rather watch? I'm going to go with Ant Farm.
All about positivity, empowerment, and friendship. But every single time they trend, it's not for positivity, it's for scandals. And
why are you yelling? Like, would someone kill your dog or something? No one, was that you?
honestly, the cracks aren't small anymore. We're talking racism accusations that keep resurfacing.
All right, let's look at the screenshots. So the allegations is... Again, look! You can see in the screenshot here in the top right corner. No, why they put them in a different table? That's how they talk. That's how they talk. Why do they talk like a TikTok? No, but why? But no, but it's annoying, okay? Speak English. Speak normally. My gosh. According to this, a racism allegation is because someone said a mean word and oh gosh, it's slow gating again. Well, someone allegedly said a mean word. And that's it's not proof that someone said something because it's on TikTok. And if they did say it, that's bad. I don't know what I'm supposed to say. So you guys have your own opinions on that. But yeah, that's I don't know what I'm supposed to say here. Yeah, anyway.
Shady collabs with creators fans already canceled. Parties that felt more staged than real, and
yes, guys, parties that felt more staged than because of course parties are not planned. They just magically come together, to see a bunch of kids and they just magically descend and they start having a party. Not even Disney Channel will do that, bro. That's not how the world works.
And followers dragging their fake
Look at these kids. I always, of course, whenever I have a take or something, I always think WWCD. What would Carly do? And it's just a joke. Racism isn't a joke. Look at that ratio right there, 2 to 43. So why is everyone 47? 47?
positivity that feels more like PR than reality.
Yes. So who would have thought that a content house would have had PR positivity? This isn't news. This isn't. No, that's how the world works. Again, I think that a lot of this stuff is just people realizing how the world works and then acting shocked. See, yeah.
That's why people say the Glow House isn't glowing anymore. It's crumbling. And today we're unpacking exactly why. From Preslee Faith's so-called pattern of racist moments to
I don't think Preslee Faith is racist, guys.
Samara's desperate PR moves to collabs with Paul Too Real that left fans questioning if the safe space was ever real in the first place.
Do people actually think this is a real safe space? You think you could just run up to these people on the street and tell them your hearts and dreams? I mean, Preslee Faith herself said that she has a close circle of friends and family. And I learned that yesterday. I'm not a Preslee Faith expert. I'm a fan, I guess, but I'm not an expert. You think I just have an expert on every random influencer?
By the end, it won't just be about one scandal. You're gonna see how this whole brand is falling apart piece by piece. But
Look like it's falling apart, but okay.
before we even get into the Glow House as a brand, we have to talk about Preslee Faith because her name never comes up without baggage. And fans say
Never comes up. Never. Well, okay, nothing important happening.
it's not just one mistake, it's a pattern that Glow House keeps brushing off. First, the clip. You know the one. Preslee lip syncing to a censored slur, looking way too casual about it.
Is that wow, tragic. Oh gosh. Okay, let's just pretend this. How am I supposed? My brain is broken. Okay.
The internet never let it slide.
Yeah, the internet didn't let us. The internet. Wow. Okay. If and more drama is upset with you because you did something allegedly bad and not Christian or something, then if you're over. Preslee Faith is cooked. She's not. This was uploaded 8 months ago when Preslee Faith is still alive and well. Oh, but she suffered her hardest attack yesterday, of course, when people criticize me for not criticizing her.
And to this day, those videos follow her everywhere.
Realist, give a about a nigga, big Birkin bag.
What did we watch? I'm in shock and awe of like what was that? No one knows.
And here
I'm sorry. What was that? I really don't. Yeah, I don't know what that was. I don't care. Again, I think the real scandal here is that people are more interested in what Preslee Faith does with her makeup than they would be in having a real television show. No hate to Preslee and Imberly and Kaylee and anyone else whose name ends with an E. I'm so impressed that they were able to succeed by doing that, and I think it's a great thing. But I would much rather have funding be put into shows like Ant Farm and Disney Channel or whatever than watching some kid do her makeup and fall into scandals. Which I can't, like, is saying a slur bad? Well, but she didn't even say anything, so I'm going to take her side on that one. Don't hate me.
Here's where Glow House itself got dragged. When Aaliyah had her own slur clip exposed, she apologized and then quietly disappeared. For her own slur clip exposed, she apologized.
Guys, always, again. Remember last time? Remember this time last year? It was always, these flat. What is that? Are you eating a piece of bread? Also, who are you? I don't remember who you are.
And then quietly disappeared from the group chat.
This whole situation happened. Video got leaked that I didn't even know existed because it was genuinely that long of a time ago.
How do you get videos? How many people have videos of them that just can leak? Like, I don't think there's any video of me that can leak from me doing anything. Unless you're like spying on someone through their room. It's still, video of me in my room would be pretty boring. It's even like me sitting on a bed. Wow. News at 11, Tech Boy sits on the bed.
It doesn't make it okay what I said, and the lesson that I wanted to tell you guys, please learn from my mistakes so you don't have to go through this on your own.
Yeah, I've learned so much. I still don't know what you did, but we've learned so much. But again, I'm not really seeing any actual things that could crumble, that could make the great Glow House crumble. I still don't know what you do. It seems like you just manage people to do makeup, which, okay.
Words matter.
But Preslee, she was still front and center. In the thumbnails, in the vlogs, being pushed like nothing ever happened.
Well, it appears that means that Preslee made the money and therefore it's not crumbling. That's economics 101, okay? It's like if your star quarterback does something a little bit bad, right? You're gonna keep him around. When he's a backup water boy, he's gotta go. That's how it works. Again, there's a whole bunch of people who are just finding out how the world works. Like, duh.
Fans pointed out the double standard right away, saying Glowhouse had no problem phasing Aaliyah out, but keeping Preslee protected because she was one of the chosen ones.
I'm gonna assume that she's chosen here because she keeps making the money. That's her job. That's how it works.
It didn't stop there. Preslee was also accused of bullying and body shaming Jafia, and instead of addressing
What are these people? Again, you can accuse anyone of anything. Do you have proof? Again, all I'm hearing is accusations and, she moved your mouth. Wow, this tragic thing happening over here.
it head on, she posted vague, clearing things up videos that fans slammed as
Let's see, the fans. No friends. No friends, body shame. ... Why'd she ignore? Can't read that. Friends don't bully each other. Guys, it's because her name... something. Why are y'all hating? Wow, very slammed. How many people read these comments or like the comments? People can say anything on the internet. Again, I'm not really seeing anything that could truly crush the integrity of Glowhouse.
dismissive. It felt more like damage control than an apology.
At the end of the day, it's just normal life. Like, we're still teenagers, we're still learning, like, obviously. And I'm not saying that's an excuse for anyone, like, getting hate about it. Like, that is not an excuse.
So at this point, you've got a slur clip, racist memes, bullying accusations, and favoritism, keeping her untouchable. And if Glowhouse protecting Preslee wasn't messy enough, their choice of collab, untouchable. And if Glowhouse...
Medicube, again, Medicube has to be making money off of this. So, making money off of these jails. Has anyone guys heard of Medicube? What is Medicube? Let's look this up, guys. Medicube. Medicube is a makeup brand. So, apparently, they make money by doing makeup, and makeup companies sponsor them. Okay.
Glowhouse protecting Preslee wasn't messy enough, their choice of collabs made things even worse because, yes, they actually partnered up with Paul Too Real, who, as y'all know, recently has been tied to scandal after scandal.
As y'all know, of course, Paul Too Real. Of course, know about Paul Too Real. I mean, who among us has never heard of Paul Too Real? Well, me, when I was watching the video, but obviously.
Recently, another girl came forward with her story from one of Paul's parties, and the details lined up almost exactly with what another girl had already said. At that point, it stops looking like he said.
What scandals? Please, another girl said something that another girl said. Okay, what did she say?
She said, and starts looking like a pattern. She claimed there were drugs being passed around like candy, underage guests being targeted, including Zuza, Paul so drunk he could barely stand, racial slurs flying, and him touching girls in ways that made them uncomfortable.
She hasn't spoken about this because the police could literally get involved.
If that's true, that's terrible, and you should be in jail and not hanging out at the Glowhouse. Unfortunately, I have no idea a single word that she said in anything. What? I'm sorry, I can't. I just hear music in the background and I hear mumbling. I'm like, what did you say?
But why the hell are you offering that to her? Anyways, I took her out there and we went to the main party.
And y'all, this is the guy Glowhouse thought was a good collab. A brand that calls itself positive and safe, linking up with someone accused of making his parties unsafe, messy, and downright predatory. It left fans furious.
So yeah, just like for me, it's like definitely different from like what you guys see.
Look at these podcast mics, guys. Look at the giving a press conference. You think about it, press conferences are so cool. Like, you're still standing there giving answers to questions that, people are asking you, and you have a nice little backdrop behind you, and sometimes you can try to avoid questions. No one's better at avoiding questions than me. But what do you want to hear from them? Like, really, what are you trying to hear from these people? Again, this world of media and entertainment, very cool.
Like when you're watching my videos, because like off camera, like we all hang out and like we do different things, but like it's not all like the same.
Profound. See, they like hang out and do different things. What things? Again, I always wonder what these people do when they hang out with each other. Like, what do you guys do with your friends? They say, "Oh, I hang out." Okay, what does that mean? What, you on a monkey bar like a little monkey or something? Like, no. What do you do?
As like what you see, and it's like there's good times, and yeah, we've had a lot of amazing memories.
And it's not like these stories were hidden. They were already public, viral, and messy, which makes it even harder to understand why Glow House went through with it. For clout? For numbers? Either way, the message was clear. Safety wasn't their priority. At that point, Glow House didn't just look careless, they looked complicit.
Let's go back.
Wasn't their priority. At that point, Glow
Well, you know, this phone, I've been seeing this, and I don't know if it's true, but it's a okay, we're still live. Okay, yeah, it's something I've been noticing, but I've been noticing that these girls, like women in general, like the iPhone 16 Pro more than I like the iPhone 17 Pro Max, the iPhone 16 Pro Max versus the iPhone 17 Pro Max. And I think it's interesting because, you know, the new design, I actually like the old design a little bit better. The new one is kind of, I mean, you know, it's an iPhone. They needed to do a design update because, you know, the 16 looked like a 15, looked like a 14, looked like a 13, looked like a 12, looked like an 11. But they needed to do a design update. But the 17 looks more manly, especially with the 12, with the orange back. You know, it just looks like more of a man's phone. And the iPhone 16 Pro Max is still a powerful device, right? It's still a powerful computer, and it has, you know, it's running iOS, and they're on there, you know, doing on their TikTok for 7 hours a day or whatnot. And also, when you think about these phones, what are they doing on their phones in their free time? Is the real question. That's actually something that I'm interested in, because we know that they're making TikToks for work and responding to comments and the like. But like, do they play games? Do they take photos? Because it seems like all they do is like make these TikToks, and it's just them doing their little makeup and lip syncing to videos on the internet. Of course, that's their job, as long as they don't fall into any actual scandal. But like, what do they do on their phones? And you know, they're pushing out this content on their phones so other people can watch them on their phones. When they're not watching Preslee and the Glow House and all these other people, what are they doing on their phones, right? We hear that people are on their phones so much time. What are they doing? You take away their social media, you take away the filming content. What are they doing on there? And also, like iMessage, you know, texting little friends and stuff. Cool. You know, I think that text messages are very cool.
Glow House didn't just look careless, they looked complicit, because when you collect
What are these things on their heads? I have seen these so many. What is it? Why? Why does it exist? What is this?
with someone accused of all that, fans don't see it as just business. They see it as an endorsement. Accused of all that, fans don't see it.
Imagine being these kids, like you're famous, you're internet famous, all the teens love you get to go out and do stuff like this. Must be like, what do you think goes through the mind of these people? Again, I've always wanted to get inside the minds of these people. Like, what does it feel like to be? What does it feel like to be famous and popular? And like, you go out to all these events and the like it's not just their life. They show up to events and hug fans.
It as just business. They see it as an endorsement. And if their collabs already felt this shady, fans started wondering, what about the events Glow House hosts themselves? Because when fans actually showed up, the safe space they were promised felt more like a cliquey, cold experience.
I don't know what they like. Do they expect them to be your best friends? I mean, no one knows more about cliques than me. But like, what would they expect?
One girl said her sister just wanted a TikTok with Embry. Instead, Embry brushed her off multiple times with, "Hold on, I'll be right back," then disappeared, only to take pictures with other fans right after.
First of all, there's no proof of that. Okay, we're listening to some person report on some person say that someone did something. Okay, that's not proof of anything. Second of all, let's say it did happen. She said that she took pictures. Let's say that we believe her report. She said that making a TikTok of someone like super famous and like is different than taking a picture of someone. It's like, okay. And also, you know, like she is busy. Let's be honest here. What do we?
Here's how she put it.
My sister really wanted to make a TikTok with Embry, but like she kept like walking away from us. I understand, I get it, she was busy, but the thing is, My sister, we went up to her like 5 different times, and then she was like, hold on, I'll be right back, I'll be right back, I'll be right back. And we was here just chilling somewhere, we'll go upstairs. She'll be like, oh, I gotta go somewhere, I gotta go somewhere. And my sister said, she tried to take a picture with her, but my sister says she ignored her and took a picture with another girl, not my sister, and then she walked off, so.
If that happened, tragic, bad, and that's kind of rude. But again, we listen to a report of someone else's report, so we can't really verify these claims.
It seemed to me like she didn't want to take a picture of my sister, so I was like, you know what, just leave her, honestly.
One fan even commented, always had
One fan even commented, one like, yeah. You know, of course, we gotta have the true experts weigh in on Kimberly and Preslee, Conrad Fisher's wifey ex. Of course, you know, Conrad Fisher's wifey, Conrad. Oh, is that? What's that? The Sunrise Turn Pretty? Yeah, if Conrad Fisher's wife ex doesn't feel good about you, then you know that's a bad sign, guys. Your career, you're cooked. Your entire career is cooked. If Conrad Fishy wifey doesn't like you, as everyone knows.
Had a bad feeling about Embry and Preslee, which made the whole situation feel less like an isolated moment and more like a pattern people had already picked up on. And it wasn't just a few encounters. Multiple guests described the whole vibe as cliquey.
Well, it is a big influencer party. You know, famous people who are coming in. They can't all be extra nice to everyone because they don't have that kind of time. Again, it just seems like a lot of people are learning how the world works and then freaking out. Also, it doesn't seem like Glow House, which we still don't know what they do, has crumbled.
Big influencers stuck with each other, and small creators were ignored, and regular fans felt like out.
Look at this, guys. It's like they're reporting on a sports game. Speaking of CBS Sports, I was looking at their graphics, so high tech. Like, what is it? What do you think it's like to work in one of those CBS Sports or Fox Sports or ESPN, in one of those media environments where they have all the graphics right there and so high tech, and you're sitting there and debating, right? You know, you're on camera, so everything's really done for you. You have your script in the teleprompter, and you have, you know, your stats off the top of your head. But you know, all the background work that goes into it, you're transmitting video across the internet and across the entire United States of America, so you can see TV and the expert level Photoshop of these people. I mean, it is so impressive and amazing. And you know, you have the on-field sports reporters that are coming in here like a camera. They have these microphones. Again, it must be so fun to have like this sense of purpose in media when you're just in social media, but you're actually going out there and creating this sort of content. I think it's really cool.
Outsiders. Just check out what these creators had to say about the party.
I did talk to a few people. Most of the people I talked to were super nice. There was only 2 people that gave me like dirty looks when I talked to them, and I was like, okay, whatever. And there was only one person that kept avoiding me. I was trying to make a video with them, or not even trying. I just wanted to like introduce myself and go up to them, but they just like avoided me. Every time we made eye contact, they like would just like look away or walk away. But it's fine. Anyway, again, it was hard to not feel left out because I didn't have a big friend group. And also, I am a smaller creator, so not everyone knew me. So I kind of had to just, like, fend for myself.
Tragic. Real tragic, guys. The Instagram stars didn't talk to you or something. I mean, I guess I felt the same way as well. But again, I don't think it's going to be the death of Glow House.
Whoa. What's that? I just built a budgeting app in Base 44. Guys, you should just...
If you're gonna spread positivity, then actually spread positivity. You're gonna have this party for big and small creators, but some of y'all only wanna talk to the big creators and keep yourself in a huddle. People say, oh, let's make a TikTok together. Let's post together. Y'all don't want to, and y'all wanna make excuses to go and leave them. Oh, I will have to do this, I have to do that, and you're not actually doing anything.
And the second these stories started spreading on TikTok, the whole image flipped. Glow House loves to act like they're all about good vibes and making everybody feel included.
These are the type of people who, when watching Dora the Explorer, would be like, what? Dora's actually speaking to me. Or, you know, when the people are like, we all love each other, they all hug each other on screen or whatever, the cast hugs each other, they actually think that it's real. So, you know, Allie, she's the nuclear engineer over on X. You know, she posted stuff like, oh, well, you know, it's childhood psychology that, you know, when you're like 3 years old, 5 years old, that you actually think that Dora the Explorer is talking to you. You can't actually differentiate between a cartoon versus a real person. And then she used that line of argument to say that, you know, if your 14-year-old son is talking to ChatGPT, they can't really differentiate themselves between if it's a real person or a chatbot. Now, for the 3-year-olds, I understand, right? They might think that Dora the Explorer is a person, but I mean, if you're 14 years old and you're falling, you think that artificial intelligence, as you're talking to artificial intelligence, I'm not saying if you're chatting with someone, they copy paste AI responses, then okay, never mind. But if you're chatting with ChatGPT, knowingly going to ChatGPT.com, downloading the application and talking to it, and you think that's a person, I mean, I got it cooked for. I mean, you shouldn't have. You're stuck at a 3-year-old's reading level. Like I don't know what to tell you here. Like what did you think that when you're typing with words, it's like you're talking to someone? That's not. No, that's not how it works. Again, that's the kind of mentality that apparently these fans are having. They think that that it's real. No, obviously they're playing for the cameras. Everyone plays for the cameras. What are you talking about?
But what people described from those parties showed the complete opposite. And if the parties themselves felt fake, what does that say about the content Glow House was posting on?
Ah, yes. Yeah. Can you believe that a content house picks content that they think is going to do well? I think this obsession with authenticity is ridiculous. Like, obviously it's fake. It's scripted. No, duh. Wow, but news at 11. Why are people pushing the idea that Gen Z is so obsessed with quote-unquote authenticity? I don't think it's a thing. I think it's become a trend in and of itself. Like all the people on the internet who actually think that Preslee is like their BFF. Is that what's happening? Do they have no?
Online every day. Every video followed the same formula. Bright smiles, clean outfits, perfect lighting.
Yes, guys, the girl TikTok content house all had good outfits, great smiles, and perfect lighting. Is that supposed to be news?
And overly cheerful affirmations.
This is like saying that a Disney Channel show all follows like the same plot. Or like whenever they're trying to date somebody in all like those teen dating movies, right? It's a kid trips over on his books. He falls flat on his face right as the crush walks out of the car and her hair is flying in the wind, right? And then everyone laughs at him. She kind of feels sad for him. And then, he starts looking up to her a lot and they're trying to get her attention and doing whatever, doing these big, huge events, but they always crash in at the end. And he's competing against, someone like the head quarterback or the basketball star or whatever. And of course, at the end of the movie, she rejects the basketball star. The guy's plan has fallen apart. His big, high-tech plan. He planned with like his 3 friends. Maybe, one of his friends liked him too, so they had an argument or whatever. They, his relationships with his friends are shaky. His big proposal fell. I don't know, maybe he got toilet paper or something, or he misspelled her name in front of the whole school. Everyone laughs at him. And, the basketball guy, he just made the game-winning shot. The football guy, he just threw the game-winning touchdown pass, right? They're about to go to homecoming court. This guy, the other guy, he's out there crying in the corner or something at the end of the game. And, she rejects him at the prom. And then they go out at the prom or the homecoming or whatever. And she finds the guy and she's like, wait, I want to talk to you. And he writes like some little sappy poem or something. He was like, wow, you guys, that really meant something to me. That really meant something to me. She's like, all you have to do is be honest with how you feel. I always liked you from the day that you fell and tripped over, the goat and fell flat on your face. And he has sort of a chuckle. And then they kiss as the entire school comes out to come see them kiss. That's like every teen rom-com movie ever. And people still watch it. People still buy it. People still watch the same Disney Channel script. People still watch the same Nickelodeon script. Did they think that because it's the internet, everyone's just going to do the same thing? Absolutely and obviously not. Like what? Are the IQs of Preslee Faith fans 4? Like, come on, guys. I'm pretty sure that she's smart, and we know that she's smart because obviously she's famous. Like, she's able to keep up this and, have all these ridiculous and nonsense scandals. That's, again, what people try to impute on ridiculous and nonsense scandals.
After a while, it stopped feeling authentic and started feeling rehearsed. Instead of showing real struggles or genuine moments,
Glow has a headquarters? How does Famous Both Things even make that much money? Like, wow.
House pushed this polished, problem-free image that nobody could actually relate to. Like this clip.
Ah, yes, I've always, I've tried to relate to people who work in content houses. No, see, I think that the issue of relatability is weird, right? I don't try to relate to these people. I don't try to relate to the podcasters. I don't try to relate to the influencers. No. I go out there and I see people who are succeeding more than me. And I go out there and I see people who have garnered so much success. You know what I try to do? Control C, Control V, baby. Copy and paste. I go in and I'll do my own thing. I'll start making my own Instagram reels and have my own takes and work just as hard just so I can be just like them. I don't want my favorite influencers and people to, try to relate to me. I'm going to try to relate to them by working just as hard, even harder, to be just like them. So if these teens want to get out there and, relate with Preslee, maybe you shouldn't try to bring Preslee down to your level of sitting down with 2 followers and a cat on your bed. You don't do anything with your life, and you're not a multi-millionaire. You don't have millions of fans. No, what you need to do is go out there and work super hard so you can relate to them by being just like them, right? We all want to be and relate to you. If you all want to relate to Preslee and Emberly and Kate Lee and all these people, right, then try to be like them. Don't try to make them be like you. This issue of authenticity and relatability is what's keeping you down, right? You shouldn't want these people online and in the media and in the world to try to be you, right? You aren't that special, okay? They're special, right? I mean, think about Jackson Dart, CJ Stroud, these quarterbacks, right? Let's say they go out there on the football field and you're like, I want to be like CJ Stroud, except for the Patriots game. I want to be like CJ Stroud and throw 4 touchdowns. I want to beat the Buccaneers 39-37, right? Do you go out there and you think, wow, I just really want CJ Stroud to relate down to me. I want him out there pulling flags. I want him out there, playing in a 50-foot back. No, what you do is you go out there, you practice, and you work hard. You look up to him so you can be just like him. You want to have that arm. You want to have his scrambling ability, right? You don't go out there and ask these quarterbacks to, relate down to you. You try to become like them. So if you guys want to relate to Preslee, become like Preslee.
Here, for instance.
Yeah, I know the music is blowed for copyright, but it's I think this music is probably better than the music that's actually in the video. I like that kind of blowed out record scratch.
And
yeah, guys, she stood there and turned her head. And obviously, as everyone knows, the average girl cannot stand in a dress and turn her head. Which is fake news. I've seen so many prom transitions before, and these are not famous people. So, no. No.
Relatability issue was just...
Yes, guys, everyone knows it's so unrelatable to sit in a car while wearing the same pink sweatsuit and talk. Obviously, this has never happened. As you guys know, in 2023, GCAM, they all wore the same headband together accidentally and not on purpose. I'm not going to count the uniform because, the school had a uniform, so, a blue skirt and a blue jacket, I mean, it's not really much you can do with that. But they all wore the same head, bow thing on their head without planning with each other. If you can wear the same bow on your head on the same day without planning, I'm pretty sure that you, in your infinite wisdom and in your expert wisdom, can all figure out how to get into a car and wear the same colored sweatshirt. I'm pretty sure you guys have the IQs and the capabilities to do that.
Just as bad. Glow House likes to market themselves as a group of normal teens making content, but scroll through their feed for 5 minutes and it looks more like a luxury ad campaign.
Wow, I didn't know that. It's the first time you're telling me that now. You mean to tell me that Glow House is able to exist because they sell stuff? Shock. Oh.
Perfectly decorated rooms, endless PR packages.
That's their job. What do you expect them to do?
Brand trips, non-stop vacations. It doesn't feel relatable. It feels untouchable.
You want to have non-stop vacations and to get out there and work for it. Do your jobs.
Some fans even commented that their
Yeah, guys, some fans even commented Genesis 1:27, Romans 3:23, Romans 6:23, Romans 4:25, 2 Corinthians 5:21, John 3:16, Mark 1:15, Ephesians 2:8-10, and Mark 16:15. Great message. 40 people liked it. Not really seeing how it's relevant to anything, really.
Content made them feel worse.
Cough, cough. Emily, Preslee, cough, cough.
Not inspired. Instead of, you can do this too, it came across like, look what we have that you never will.
I can do this. I guarantee you this, that I will meet these people, okay? As one of those high-powered influencers. I guarantee you this, guys. And I guarantee you this, that I can do what they do and do better. I've had a podcast longer than them. I can go on a talk show longer than them. I can go get media attention longer than them. This should inspire you. You guys should be inspired by these people and not feeling jealous that people, well, that they're famous. That is a lesson that I want you guys to have. To not be uninspired by these people. Now, let's go over to our Instagram Reels segment. And, no, actually, I'm going to save this video for next week. We're going to be reacting to Mr. Who's the Boss's tech takes. So let's see what he has to say. But what I want to do, I want to finally end off this episode, guys. Let's see what we have in our saved photos. Hey, wait, is that her? Is that her? Well, wait, I think that was someone else. I opened that one. This one was kind of funny. Ah, yes. Here we go. Here's another one. And here it is. All right, first, let's go over to another anti-AI person. Not saying that all anti-AI people are bad, obviously not. Let's see what this person has to say about artificial intelligence. Can you guys see this on the screen? These are people that we should really take into consideration when we think about the artificial intelligence debate. Protecting this world from AI at all costs. Vandalism. And no, we can't say it's a skit because, it's not like these things grow on trees. Nah, they out of a car, posted to the internet of them assaulting and vandalizing a robot, and trying to kidnap it, and jumping on it, and then stealing the robot. It's probably thousands of dollars, and oh my gosh, did they throw it off a roof? I want to assume that there's actually nothing in there. I don't think they're that stupid, but we see in the comments it's even worse. I hope that this becomes as big a trend as Scientology runs. Oh, so, vandalism's okay if you don't like the product now, guys. That's totally fine, totally fine. Even if this is a skit and they got permission to do this, I'm not really sure how. It's not like you can just build a robot, put it on the side of the road. No, okay, they actually did this other than probably throwing it off a roof. Because, if they hit someone, it's over. So, even if this is a skit, people celebrating vandalism because they don't like an object, it's bad, actually. It's not good. That's not good. You shouldn't do that. All right, on to the next reel. I think this is really funny. You have it's the Christian girls have no business starting a podcast skit. I think they're right. They're right. These people on these Christian podcasts, I don't really know who they are, but you see these Christians, you kind of see them in church. They always say the most nonsense stuff or the most obvious. Wow, God is good and you shouldn't do bad things. Wow, wow.
I want to be careful with the subject. Recently, we've been talking a lot about mountains and valleys.
Right, and so there's a lot of mountains in life. So many, you gotta get over.
Oh, they all talk like that too.
Over into the valley.
Yeah, one of the mountains in her life is singleness.
That's so good.
Isn't that right?
That's so good.
Isn't that?
It's so good. It's so good. Okay, bro. Be normal, please.
Nobody talks about singleness.
No.
Not one post. No one talks. No one's ever talked about singleness before. It's not like they have whole thing aesthetic. Not one post. Of course not.
Nobody talks about singleness. Nobody. Should we talk about singleness?
I want to be careful with the subject because I know it's a place a lot of us young women of God are in.
Right.
And it's not a fair place to be in.
So good. So good.
Thank you. I want to be
It's just like, okay, bro. All right, now let's go check to the comment section again. Let's see if I can zoom in so we don't see the comments and then we can guess what the comments have to say. Can I do that? Okay, so we can kind of do that. There we go. So it is zoomed in. You'll see the full view better. All right, yeah, there you go. All right, hope you guys can see this on the screen. No comment section. We're just going to see what this comment section has to say. Oh, dang it. All right, let's switch back. The audio is important. So, yeah, there we go. All right, yeah, there you go. All right, now we can play it. There we go.
You said that.
What? Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Yes, that could be
Okay,
anything.
now you just gave it away. It was Lexi.
Yeah.
So they're playing the game where, this person here is the imposter. She doesn't know what the word is. They all know what the word is. The word is Zoom call. Zoom call. And they have to say a word, so something like Zoom call, that the other person would not know what it is, and the other person's trying to guess, and you try to guess who the imposter is. So, this person here is going to be like, she can't say Zoom call, so maybe she'll say something like telephone, and these people are like, yeah, that's so good. And this person back here is going to be like, well, she knows it's Zoom call, so she'll say something maybe like computer, and she's like, yeah, that's something so good. So she'll say something like COVID, and she's like, oh, it doesn't make sense. And, imposter has to synthesize this information and guess what is the word that they're saying, right? So she's going to say something like keyboard, and then we're like, wait, what? And then they all have to vote on who the imposter is. The imposter's goal is to trick them, right? So it's a very interesting game here. Something that they're learning something a lot, right? Lots of synthesis here. Also, I don't think they're famous. They could become the next Glow House, right? I don't see them sitting around and complaining or whining that, Preslee isn't just like them. We have learned so many nuggets of wisdom from these people in just this short amount clip. What do Instagram comments have to say? Turn to the cameras. Why y'all, okay, Emily, Haley, Bailey, and Kaylee. Control she, Control V, group. Am I tripping, or are they twins? You'll never find a girl like it's supposed to be like a crime, and also they do look differently. I mean, they all kind of like style their hair differently, and like you can tell that they look different because like their face shape and yeah. So in any case, they don't look the same, but. Like, again, is it supposed to be a crime to look the same? Is that illegal? I mean, we have learned important things from these people in just 30 seconds, and you're also talking about that they all look alike? Who cares? In any case, God bless. Tech talk to you later. And